Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here. Not the Wyvern Watch at all, the Wyvern Watch. Here with another deck profile, of course. This time I am updating you with my Lyrilusc deck profile, otherwise known as Bird Up, I believe. Like I say, I'm not the competitive player, but when this did hit the meta for a little while, I think it was called Bird Up, and I imagine it was probably because the Tri-Brigade engine that some people run in it. I am running a Tri-Brigade engine, but only a very, very small one, so it's just to give it a little bit of a more in-depth feel to it. I've had Lyrilusc a little while now. You can probably see one of my earlier profiles on this channel was in fact Lyrilusc, and I think it might have been a little bit late to the game or something because it didn't get too many views, but that's okay. You know, it's just because I was a very fledgling channel. I still am a very fledgling channel, and this time I just wanted to give you an update on it because it's had a few changes, a couple of cards been added, and see what you think. Like I say, as usual, throw some comments in the comments section below and let me know where I've gone wrong, or indeed where it is you like my particular version, or the particular combination of cards. Let me show you first of all Turquoise Warbler. So if you control no monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is special summoned from the hand, you can special summon one Lyrilusc monster from your hand or graveyard. A really good enabler, of course, really good opener, and obviously a 3-of. Most of these are a 3-of, to be honest with you. I've tried to run all the names I can. We've got Beryl Canary. So if this card is in your hand, you can target one Lyrilusc monster in your graveyard and special summon both this card and that monster. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except XYZ monsters, and you can only use the effect of Beryl Canary once per turn. And then a Wind XYZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. This gains 200 attack, and control of that card cannot switch. These all little impact effects start to mount up, and obviously once you start going into your XCs, it does make the difference. Obviously it does lock you out of your Tri-Brigade stuff, so you just need to be wary of that as well. And then we've got 3 Cobalt Sparrows. So if this card is special summoned, you can add one level 1 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and you can only use the effect of Lyrilusc Cobalt Sparrow once per turn. And then a Wind XYZ monster was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, so that's a really nice impactful one actually when you do start getting into your XC's monsters. You do know I love an XC's deck though, so hence why I was sort of starting to feel why I might have put this one together. Obviously it's one Winged Beast, it's Wind, and it's an XC's deck, so all wins for me. If you control a Winged Beast monster, you can special summon both this card and one level 1 Winged Beast monster from your hand. You can only use the effect of Sapphire Swallow once per turn. A Wind XYZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as material gains this effect. If this XYZ summoned, if it is XYZ summoned, you can target one Lyrilusc monster in your graveyard, attach it to it as material. Obviously there's 1 or 2 cards in the extra that can really make use of that effect. That's Sapphire Swallow. Just the 2 Wagtails, Celestine Wagtail. So if this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Lyrilusc spell or trap from deck to hand, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Lyrilusc XYZ monster you control, attach this card to it as material, and obviously it's a once per turn. Not quite as impactful in my opinion, so I've just gone for the 2 of in there. And that's it for the Lyrilusc monsters, so just onto a little bit of support. But like I say, we do run this very small Tri-Brigade component. Of course, this is the only main deck monster, so this is Tri-Brigade Nerval. Obviously it's Winged Beast, it's Wind, it's very much searchable, so nice and easy. So you can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monsters in your graveyard, special summon 1 Beast, Beast Warrior or Winged Beast Link monster from your extra deck with Link rating equal to the number of banished. Also you can only use Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monsters as link material for the rest of the turn, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand. Nice and easy, but it does fit with the deck really, really well, in my opinion, that one. Last monster in the main deck is DD Crow. Again, Wing Beast in its searchable. Nice and easy there. Quite impactful hand trap. And then we move swiftly onto the spells. So, a fair amount of 3-offs here actually, but we've got Lyrilusc Burcall. So take one Lyrilusc monster from deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Then you can special summon one Lyrilusc monster with a different name from your hand. You can only activate one Burcall per turn. Obviously it came out a little bit later on, but absolutely really good card for the deck. And in my opinion at least 3-off, but I have seen other builds only running 1 or even 2 of this. So maybe I've got that one wrong. I'll have to perhaps have another look at it, but in my opinion it looks like a 3-off. This is one of the new ones though, so this is Swallow's Cowrie. So this is straight out of Phantom Nightmare. So tribute one Winged Beast monster in your hand or face up on the field. Add one Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand with the same level that the tributed monster had. You can only activate one Swallow's Cowrie per turn. So it's just making sure you've got the one that you need at any point in time, and it's a quick play if you should need it. Next one is Wing Requital. I don't think this card sees enough play, to be honest. I think it's a really really useful one. But if all monsters you control are Wing Beast monsters and you control at least 2 monsters with different original names, pay 600 life points and draw 2 cards. I mean, you know, it's not that difficult to get 2 different names on the field at the same time, and paying 600 is nothing. So yeah, for draw 2, that's I would definitely go for that. Then we've got 2 Lyrilusc Bird Strikes. Starting to get some really pretty cards coming through here as well. So if you control a Lyrilusc monster, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of this turn. So, you know, there's no downside to that apart from the fact you need to control a Lyrilusc monster. So, in my opinion, a nice and easy 2-of there. Just because it is a win deck and I like running some back row hate, there's a couple of Twin Twisters in there as well. And then there's a few one-off spell-wise, so how many have we got? 5, so we should get them all in. So we've got Lyrilusc Bird Sanctuary, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 for 1, 1 Instant Fusion, and we're not going to get them all on, so we'll just tie them up a little bit, and 1 Cold by the Grave. Those are the 5 one-offs in terms of spells. We've only got 1 target for Instant Fusion, so hence, well, I think it's a 1-off anyway at the moment anyway, isn't it? But we have only got the 1 target anyway. Called by the Grave for obvious reasons. 1 for 1 because the whole deck is pretty much level 1. Harpy's Feather Duster, of course, but a little bit more back row removal, and it's fitting in the deck, which is why I run it. And then Lyrilusc Bird Sanctuary, if you target... You can target 2 Winged Beast XYZ monsters you control, attach one of those monsters to the other as material. Again, it'll be more impactful when we go into the extra deck. Transfer its materials to that monster. If you control an XYZ monster with 3 or more materials, you can draw 1 card. Nice and simple stuff, but the more materials one of these monsters has got, the better, because obviously they affect their attack power and that sort of thing. Moving on to traps then, so we've also got 2 Draco Utopian Auras, which again, you don't need to run these aren't part of the archetype, but I just like them because A, I like the artwork, it's fitting with the wings and everything, and it's a good trap. So when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, negate its activation, and if you do destroy the card, then you can apply the following effect. Banish 1 monster from your hand, and if you do, special summon the monster that was destroyed and sent to the graveyard by this effect on the field, but negate its effects. I thought it was really cool, and obviously it's a counter trap as well, so you might get yourself out of trouble with those. There's 2 Harpy's Feather Storm as well. Obviously another reason for running Harpy's Feather Duster, but if you control a Winged Beast monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates, and if you control Harpy monster, which obviously I won't, so forget the Harpy Feather Duster comment, you can activate this card from your hand. And if this card in its own spell or trap card zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add... Oh, sorry, right, you don't need the Harpy for the Harpy's Duster. You just need the Harpy to activate it from your hand, which is fine, but still relevant in the deck, I believe. And then just the 2 one-offs of traps. So I still run 1 Icarus attack, which is obviously just Winged Beast removal. And then Tri-Brigade Revolt, of course, just to go in line with the rest of the Tri-Brigade lineup. So that's the main deck. Keeping it simple with those. Sorry, I'm just putting these back in order. I put them in all the wrong order for some strange reason. Don't know why I'm doing this now. Could probably do this off the video, really, couldn't I? Okay, yeah, so moving on to extra deck, here we go. So these are all I've got as many names as Lyrilusc names as possible. So let's start with the Xyz monsters then. So I've got 1 Lyrilusc Ensemble Blue, that's it, Robin. 2 Recital Starling now. I think they were on the ban list for a short period of time, but they're now back at full strength. 2 Assembled Nightingale. 1 Promenade Thrush, and the only other Lyrilusc monster is the Independent Nightingale, which of course is the instant fusion target. So they've all got their own little effects. I like to run as many as I can, like I said, just to make sure I'm utilising the full archetype. But Assemble Blue Robin is gains 500 attack for each material attached to it, and if your opponent special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can detach 1 material from this card, target one of those special summon monsters and return it to the hand. And if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 other Lyrilusc monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Recital Starling, if this card is Xyz summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. It gains 300 attack for each material attached to the card, and once per turn you attach 1 material from this card and add 1 level 1 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. All battle damage you take from battles involved in this XYZ summon is also inflicted on your opponent. And then the Assembled Nightingale is one of the bigger ones, so it gains 200 attack for each material attached to it. This card can attack directly, full stop. While this card has material, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. And once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card. Until the end of the turn, Lyrilusc monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Also, you take no battle damage. So you really want as many materials under Assembled Nightingale as possible, because that'd be one of the win conditions of the deck. Promenade Thrush gains 500 attack for each material attached to it, and once per turn you can detach 1 material from this card and then target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck, and at the start of the damage step, if another monster you control battles, you can detach any number of materials from this card. That monster you control gains 300 attack for each material detached until the end of the turn. So it is sometimes difficult to keep up to date with how many attack points these monsters have actually got. So I'd suggest the use of dice just to keep up to date with it. And last but not least is Independent Nightingale. So if this card is fusion summoned using the next XYZ monster on the field as fusion material, whose original name includes Lyrilusc, which it won't be, you can increase this card's level by the number of Xyz materials that monster had. And then this card gains attack equal to the number to its level times 500, unaffected by other card effects. And then once per turn, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's level times 500. It's not really there for its effect, of course. It's just to give you another material on the board in order to go into one of these guys. So only the one of course. Nothing too serious to worry about there. And then onto a few support cards. So just the remainder of the Xyz monsters. So we've got 1 down a Magician, because obviously it can upgrade from any of the Lyrilusc monsters, just in case we need to. My go-to is the number F0 Utopic Future, and obviously overlay again into Utopic Draco Future. This one is actually the Collector's Rare, which is a really pretty card, this one, because it's a really nice matte finish on the card. And then of course Divine Arsenal AA Zeus as your final option once your Lyrilusc monsters have attacked nice option to go straight into that, of course. And last but not least, of course, is the Link Monsters. Like I say, it's only a small engine, but we do run the Ron Shiraig and the 1/3 JIT. We've got a Knight of the Phoenix, my sort of standard Link 2, and of course a Salaman Great Armorage, just to get out of trouble if one of our Lyrilusc monsters gets its effects negated, and obviously we're just left with one monster on the field. Guys, that's it for my Lyrilusc deck profile. Thank you so much for tuning in and keeping in tabs on it. I really appreciate it. If you do feel like I've missed the trick on something there, or if you think I might have messed my ratios up a little bit, or indeed you think I might have done really well and the deck profiles are a solid list, do let me know, because I really like to hear your comments. I do respond to all of them. I haven't missed any as far as I know yet. You know, I've genuinely have taken a lot of the advice on board, and as I'm updating my profiles, you'll be able to see what I've done with it. Thanks once again, guys, and we'll see you for the next profile. See you soon.